Walsh.
Alright homies, what's going on? Did you know this about Goodfellas, guys? We're going to go straight into some cool movie trivia about them. The top 10 things you may or may not know about Goodfellas. Let's go. Number 1. According to Henry Hill, whose life was the basis for the book and film, Joe Pesci's portrayal of Tommy was 90 to 99% accurate, with one notable exception. The real Tommy was massively built. Jeez, man, like, Joe Pesci's so good, goddamn good in this movie. Man, if that's accurate, I mean, imagine meeting this guy. Imagine what this guy would do with Gen Z. Oh my good lord. He'd have them for breakfast, boy. Alright, number 2. The How Am I Funny scene is based on something that actually happened to Joe Pesci. While working in a restaurant, a young Pesci apparently told a mobster that he was funny, a compliment that was met with a less enthusiastic response. Pesci relayed this to Martin Scorsese, who decided to include it in the film. Scorsese didn't include the scene in the shooting script so that Pesci and Liotta's interactions would elicit genuine surprised reactions from the supporting cast. Can you imagine sitting there, you don't have a clue what's coming, and you're just like, what in God's name is up with this Pesci fella, man? Jesus Christ. It's definitely one of the best scenes though for weirdness, isn't it though? Jeez, it's so good, man. Okay, number 3. So, Martin Scorsese first got wind of the book Wise Guy when he was handed the galley proofs. Although Scorsese has sworn off making another gangster movie, he immediately cold called the writer and told him, "I've been waiting for this book my entire life." Pelleggi replied, "I've been waiting for this phone call my entire life." Aww, isn't that sweet? Man, can you imagine though getting a phone call from Martin Scorsese? Jesus. Alright, next. Robert De Niro wanted to use real money for the scene where Jimmy hands out money because he didn't like the way fake money felt in his hands. The prop master gave De Niro $5,000 of his own money. At the end of each take, no one was allowed to leave the set until all the money was returned and counted. Do we believe that one? I don't know if I can believe that one, man. Really? Did De Niro really have to have real money in his hand? You know? Couldn't have De Niro, because he's such a goddamn genius anyway, couldn't he have just imagined himself using real money? And why wouldn't it have been his own money? Why is someone else using their own money for him? Do you know? I'd feel like an asshole, man, if somebody was doing that for me. Like, no, dude, it's okay. I'll take my own money. Alright, next. In The Real Goodfella, 2006, which aired in the UK, Henry Hill claimed that De Niro would phone him 7 to 8 times a day to discuss certain things about Jimmy's character, such as how Jimmy would hold his cigarette. Wow. Jesus, huh? That's De Niro though, man. It just goes to show you he's so good. He's so good. Jesus. The next one. Al Pacino. Believe this. Al fucking Pacino was offered the role of Jimmy, but he was feared he was going to be typecast in the movie, so he didn't actually want to do it. And then afterwards, when he actually saw the movie, he admitted that it was a big mistake. But I mean, De Niro, he's amazing though, isn't he? He's awesome in this movie. At the same time, Pacino would have been brilliant too. God, wouldn't you love to kind of swap those characters around? Like even a Pacino role he's done out there. Wouldn't you love if like De Niro or something dropped in and did his version of it? Do you know what I mean? Like guys, in fact, you know that's a really good one actually. Just popped into my head. If you go on YouTube, go to Robert De Niro's audition for Godfather as Sonny. Right? And it's amazing, like obviously we all know James Caan was Sonny, but you see De Niro audition for it as well, and it's just fascinating the way you see two completely different approaches to the same role. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And De Niro was unreal in it, my God. Anyway, next. Ray Liotta's mother died of cancer during filming. Liotta says that he uses anger over losing his mother for certain scenes, the pistol whipping scene in particular. Well, man, I mean, you definitely saw there was a lot of anger in his face, wasn't there, for that one? Jeez, and the poor guy losing your mother and then, oh God, that must have been tough. Okay, next. According to Ray Liotta, Martin Scorsese was so involved in every detail of the cast's wardrobe that he tied Liotta's tie himself to make sure it was accurate for the film's setting. Well, they don't call him one of the greatest directors of all time. Like, precision, just attention to detail, man. That's what we're looking for here. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Okay, what's next? The studio was initially very nervous about the film due to its extreme violence and language. The film reportedly received the worst preview response in the studio's history. Scorsese that the numbers were so low, it was funny. Nevertheless, the film was released without alteration to overwhelming critical acclaim, cementing Scorsese's reputation as one of America's foremost filmmakers. Jeez, I mean, how does that happen? You know? How does that happen? What, as in like the critics got them to it? You know? Yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, guys, that's the top 10 of Goodfellas we can find of Did You Know? Thanks for watching, guys.
Peter.
Walsh.